What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Season 1 finally dropped for Black Ops 6, and I got my first initial impressions of the overall season. And again, I appreciate everybody who tuned into the live stream. I will be streaming it again today, starting probably around like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time over on Twitch. Of course, if you guys are interested and want to see me further critique this brand new season, tune into the stream. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I wanted to hyper-focus my first impressions for today's vid because, yes, there are a lot of details on other subjects and topics that I want to discuss with you guys, but I don't want to hyper-focus into that just yet. I'll do that later down the road when I get more playtime. Right now, I want to give you guys my first initial impressions and let you guys know if this season is actually good or not. And I'll be real with you guys, it's not too shabby of a season. Now, I do have my criticisms, which I am going to mention a little bit later, but I want to hyper-focus on some of the positives. That's what I want to begin with here. First and foremost, the updates to all the weapons and the balance changes are phenomenal. Again, I am disappointed that we didn't see any recon changes, but to the overall weapon categories, they are really solid. The buffs to the assault rifles are phenomenal, and let me tell you guys, the meta shakeup, I don't know if it's going to be really a meta shakeup, but a lot of the assault rifles you didn't see before, trust me, as the weeks go by and people actually step out of their comfort zone, you are going to start seeing a lot of variety within this game because I have been testing out almost everything, and God, it feels so crispy. And I'm very happy the developers are taking this route of not nerfing all the good things into the dirt and making it pointless. No, they're going to leave things as they are and work other weapons up. And if it ever becomes a point, like the AEK for the example, where you have a gun that does stand out that is stupidly overpowered, they will then go ahead and tune it, which they did to the AEK. And I'll be real, the AEK is still powerful. That right there was one of my biggest concerns because it's hard to balance out a burst gun like that is supposed to be a strong weapon. But then you start seeing people, go up close and personal and use it like an SMG. So you have to find ways to balance it. And I think they did it perfectly, nerfing down the rapid fire attachment and just, leaving it in a more convenient spot. I think they did a phenomenal job here. I see people still rocking the AEK, but nowhere close to what they were doing, before. Before, like I said, they were running it like an SMG, slide canceling everywhere, getting up in your face, and just absolutely beaming you, because I guess rapid fire was really that overpowered. But now that has been reduced, you see people actually using it like a marksman, like it's supposed to be used, a little bit more distance in between your targets. I really like that, and I think that they balanced it out in a great way. Again, you're still going to get one bursted a lot, but, you're not going to be getting one bursted while someone's slide canceling YYing up in your face and beaming you, and yeah, you still can because it's a strong weapon. But between the sprint to fire times being so slow on the gun to begin with before you even put on any attachments, you are going to be heavily encouraged to keep your distance. But I gotta admit, Treyarch seems to be competent here when it comes to their updates. Again, it was something that I was watching very closely. I wanted to make sure Treyarch knows what they're doing when it comes to their patch notes, because it seems Sledgehammer Games, so far out of all the previous COD games, are the only devs that know how to fix their game properly. But finally, it seems Treyarch is on track once again with pumping out good quality updates for their games and not leaving things in for months and months and months. The game's absolutely busted. Of course, we're going to have our problems with skill-based matchmaking and servers, but a lot of that stuff is besides, what the developers can really do. That comes down to Activision and how much money they're willing to cough up and if they're willing to remove skill-based matchmaking from the game, right? But when it comes to the developers working on this game and making sure it runs properly, not too shabby, not too shabby. But I do have a few criticisms that I must put out there because, again, that's what I do on this channel. I know everybody absolutely hates it. They cannot fathom that someone can talk positive and negative about games. It just blows their mind. But I gotta be honest with you guys. First and foremost, the content is good. I like how much content they're putting into the game. But Treyarch, I'm just going to say fluke, as, the homie Boost would say. What the fluke, man? Seriously. What is up with all of these small maps? It's crazy to me. Now, I will say Hideout is much better than all of the other small maps within this game. But it is definitely a small... I was looking at the overview, and I was kind of convinced that it was going to be a medium-sized map. But just like the rest of the maps, it works exactly like Nuketown. You go to the middle, you find a head glitch, and you hold spawn traps. It's the same exact... Every single map has the same playstyle. I don't know. I want to put together a separate video where I actually show you guys why I don't like that playstyle and why it gets boring and it's not as creative as a larger map. I'm going to put a completely different video together for that. But it plays the exact same as every map in the game. where you move up, once again, like I said, hold a head glitch, hold a spawn trap, and beam people down. It's not hard. Anybody can do it, but in my opinion, it's just not as entertaining. But this is all my opinion. I'm going to say right now, again, when it comes to the content that we're getting within Season 1, it is phenomenal. It's on track to keep up with Modern Warfare 3's content drops. But the type of content that's being presented is not completely up my lane, With Modern Warfare 3, we were getting more variety of maps, which fit me. So when we got all that content, I was really happy because it was so much that I could play between small maps, medium maps, large maps. It was all of the above. But here, everything is just small. Everything. It's like you can't really escape it. Even the largest maps in this game aren't even considered large. They are considered like medium. Now, I will say, I gotta say it time and time again, I don't think Hideout is a bad map. And like I just said as well, I think it is probably on the better end when it comes to the maps in this game. It's actually really fun. But boy, oh boy, would it hit so much harder if this game was already packed with a bunch of larger sized maps or medium to large sized maps. There's not enough variety. So to have another small one and another small one and another small one come in, it's sad because Treyarch isn't producing bad maps. They're not. Like, the map flows aren't too shabby. It's just they're all small. They're all the TikTok brain rot style maps. There's not much variety. It's, once again, go to a head glitch and hold it. My favorite map throughout this season here is probably Extraction, just because of the fact that you have more space to move, flank, and maneuver. And yes, there are some camping spots, but they're so easy to flank, they're so easy to get people out of. And again, it doesn't just come down to, being forced to beam them off of the head glitch. No, you have like 5-6 other routes between wanting to hop underground. If you do want to cross the air, space, then by all means go across, but it's wide and open. Traverse through the actual warehouse itself. There's many ways of working this map, and jump spots that you can get better angles. It's fun. It's fun to navigate around. I like that one. But even Extraction is still on the smallish end. I can literally get to the other side of Extraction in 10 seconds. I would even say a little less time if nobody, contests me. It's not that hard. It's so easy to get a spawn trap. And again, the spawns do not flip. So, you could just hold these spawns again and again and again. And it's easy to get there. When someone kills you off of the spawn trap, it's pointless. This is why I like larger maps, because when you take down someone holding a lane, I'll describe this in another video as well in more detail, but when you take down someone holding a lane on a bigger map, they can't just get to that spot again in 5 seconds, right? You have time to maneuver. You have time to move up, flank, and get, a route going. But on maps like this, Extraction and, Heirloom and Hideout, if you die on a head glitch, your teammates are literally 2 steps away. They can pick up that head glitch. And even if your teammates aren't there, you can get there in 3 seconds. You're not going to miss out on any time whatsoever. You can get right back to that same spot in a matter of seconds. It's just, I know. And again, I want to say they're not bad maps. It's just these maps aren't my style. I have to say that over and over again because I don't think they're bad. I've seen worse small maps. I have seen worse small maps. It's not up my lane. And then Heirloom, I'll be real with you guys, it was probably naive of me to believe this, but when I saw Heirloom was being advertised as 2v2/6v6, I thought they meant it was going to be a 6v6 map, at its core, and then they're going to transfer it over, condense it to a 2v2 map. I'm a little sad to, notify you guys. A lot of you probably already knew, but I didn't. These maps are for Faceoff, so it's not actually a 6v, like for example, in Black Ops Cold War, how they had, Miami, and then they had Miami Strike to condense it and make it a little bit more fast-paced. Or they had that one snowy map in Crossroads, Cross Strike, or something like that, and then they had Crossroads or Cross Strikes Strike. It's probably not Cross Strike Strike, but, whatever. They had the big version, and they had the small version. That's not the case with this. These are Face-Off maps. They were made specifically for 2v2, and they were branched up to be in Face-Off 6v6. And it makes me so sad because Heirloom is such an awesome map. I love how they work with the art within this map and how you can navigate around it and how you flow in and out of it. It's really unique and cool. I haven't seen a map like this probably ever within Call of Duty. Maybe we have. Of course, you can go down in the comment section and fill me in on the details on if you know of a map that was like this. But seriously, it makes me jealous, sad, because, I'm not a 2v2 guy. I never cared for gunfight. And I know Face-Off is popular, but I would much rather them build maps for 6v6 that can go in and earn streaks and play the normal experience, and then have them condense those maps into a 2v2 map. Like, for example, Hideout here would be a perfect gunfight map. You know, it's definitely small enough to play 2v2, 3v3, so on and so forth. I feel like they should have done the exact same thing with a map like Heirloom. I would have loved to see that map expanded, making it, you know, much bigger with multiple different rooms, with different types of art pieces to fight around. Each art piece, you know, introducing a new experience, a new way of how you have to handle engagements within that room. That would have been so freaking awesome, just having a massive area where you could play like that. I don't even care if it was more indoors. You could put glass around it or something like that for the air streaks. And if not, then just use indoor streaks, you know, ground streaks, whatever. I would just love to have a bigger experience like that and then have them condense it down like they do now for 2v2 and gunfight with the current version of Heirloom. But sadly, this means that it's only going to be 3 actual 6v6 maps, one of them being a remaster, and then the 4th map is going to be the Nuketown remake. Not bad. I'll be honest, still not bad. And of course, we're getting 2 face-off maps. So we're going to be getting another map that's going to be 2v2 6v6, but keep in mind, it's not going to be an actual 6v6 map where you can get streaks. It's going to be for face-off 6v6, and then transferred more so into, obviously, 2v2 gunfight. But in my opinion, that's not too bad. You know, Modern Warfare 3 Season 1 dropped with, what, 3 maps? So I think we're basically on track to the same amount of content being dropped here. I am just hoping that they branch out a little bit with Season 2. Just a little bit more, a tiny bit. We have so many maps that have the same exact playstyle. It would just be phenomenal to see, you know, different playstyles being put into the game. Because the movement and the gunplay is really solid in Black Ops 6. But it's condensed. You don't use that much movement. Because the majority of the time, you're going for a head glitch to camp it and hold a spawn trap. So it's no need for movement. I actually went and tried the new Warzone, and I'm not too much of a Warzone head, so don't expect, you know, too much knowledge or any videos about Warzone. I caught a W, though, so, you know, that was good and fun. But the movement in Warzone is so much better. With all the space and all the possibilities, you can hit some crazy-looking things, and it feels natural. In all of the multiplayer maps, it just doesn't feel natural to me. It's always so condensed, so tight, and so compact that 9 times out of 10, you're just simply better standing, once again, on a head glitch and beaming anybody who even tries to use any omni movement against you. And it all boils down to the map sizes. It doesn't have to be this way in Black Ops 6. Just a little bit larger of a map, and I feel like it would be better. But one last thing I need to talk about as well is the spawns, because they did say they touched upon the spawns, and I will be honest with you, they don't feel too insanely different. I'm hoping that we can tweak these a bit further, but from my experience, and not just in the new maps, I went and played all the original maps as well just to make sure I wasn't tripping. I'm still getting people spawning right next to me all the time, so hopefully that can get improved a bit more in the future. But overall, it's a pretty solid update. Like I said, the meta has been, you know, kind of shifted. The AEK is no longer stupidly dominant. A lot of the other assault rifles are being brought up. The SMGs are feeling really solid. I think the patch notes themselves were really good. I think it was a ton of fantastic information, and Treyarch is nailing it. But my only complaint, which is just a personal complaint, is that the map sizes are just not there just yet, and they're still cramming in. So I mean, like even a Hacienda, we already know what that map is going to be like. It's going to be larger than most, obviously. But it's still a much more smaller map, you know? It was in Black Ops 4, and Black Ops 4 was notorious for, you know, smaller sized maps. But again, even Black Ops 4 had bigger maps than this game. You see, that is so key. It's so key to have variety. You shouldn't have all the same type of maps. And that's where I'm going to end it here, because I know people are going to say, oh, you're just talking a bunch of crap. But I'm not, because this wasn't a bad update, but it's the freaking truth. Every single COD game I can think of, from the slowest of the slow COD games to some of the fastest paced games like Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare, something like that, Black Ops 4. Every COD game has a massive variety of maps. Small, medium, and large. None of them ever hyper-focus on, you know, one set. Not even a game like Black Ops 4. It was tons of variety, including the DLC, that added a nice mix to the game. So you were always looking forward to something different. But Black Ops 6, for some reason, they really are sticking with this. They were not lying. They said they wanted every map to be a smallish to medium-sized map. And we're not talking about medium to large. And I will say right now, their definition of medium, or just their general definitions of map sizes altogether, are completely different than, you know, what they used to be. But yeah, that's the direction they're pushing, with maps no bigger than stuff like Raid. So that is where I think they're going to settle in on. And from the feel of these 2 DLC maps that we just got here, I don't think they are planning on changing anything. So once again, Season 1, not too shabby. There's a decent amount of content. There's a lot of stuff to grind, and I think people are going to have fun. But the content that was introduced, especially the maps, from my personal, likes and dislikes, they just are not up my lane. Besides, again, Extraction. I enjoy the vibes of Extraction, but you could tell the direction that Treyarch wants to push. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of Season 1. Are you having fun? Are you not having fun? I hear zombie fans are having a blast right now. I think Warzone guys are going to be having fun. And honestly, multiplayer, like I said, it's a decent amount of content. I think people are going to have fun grinding it out. I just hope a lot of people who are grinding it out enjoy the small map playstyle because, it's going to be right up your lane. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I will be live today over on Twitch starting at around 12 p.m. Eastern time. By all means, if you want to tune in, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.